Welcome to Teams Tuesday, a podcast about mastering the best about what other people have already figured out. Teams Tuesday focuses on insights and lessons that never expire. You will walk away from every episode with actionable insights that help you get better results and be more productive.
This was about as bizarre and easy as it gets.
The client just couldn't make up their mind.
I feel like we had top.
Went from a project of 20 weeks to just 2.
The DevOps was a cultural shift.
This is Teams Tuesday with your host, Peter Ward.
Welcome to Teams Tuesday. It's August the 17th and the year is actually going through very, very quickly. Normally I'm actually in New York when I do this, but I'm actually in the UK and I'm actually hosting Teams Tuesday. So we've got a great speaker today, as ever, another talented MVP who I've met a few times on SharePoint Saturdays and Azure Bootcamp. Manpreet Singh, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, Peter?
Doing well. Glad you could take time out of your day. What's generally keeping you busy these days?
Today, I think I had to push all my meetings in the morning. So I had like 15, 30, 45 like level of meetings. It was crazy. But I think now it's everything about Viva, Microsoft Viva. There are a lot of projects coming in. People want to see what it does, how it does, what is the costing. I think people are just jumping on and around that.
Yeah, we've been looking at Viva ourselves. Getting it actually installed in our tenant has been a bit challenging. I don't know if you found that.
No, it was easy for us. I think it just worked then.
All right, okay, that's cool, good stuff. So for those who are attendees to join, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat in the top right-hand corner, and I will filter these over to Manpreet. So what's your first job out of college?
I think as soon as I left college, I was a programmer, like a very basic .NET programmer I started, I think, with. Then in 3 months, I was pulled into SharePoint, which I was lucky. And then from there to here, it's been 10 years now. Just SharePoint, yeah.
Okay, Moss. So you started with Moss. That was
Yes,
2003.
yeah. I think that was my first migration project, Moss to 2010 migration.
Okay, so you missed that 2007 then.
Yeah, the development part, yes, only the migration part. But I got the chance to see it, how it works, what it does and stuff, yeah. The UI and stuff.
All right, okay, sounds good. What's your biggest mistake that you feel holds back clients when it comes to things like migrations and from getting the results of what they want?
Yeah, I think the major issue was while we were doing the migration, and we did not know that any tool right now, if it's Metalogix or ShareGate or whatever you use, they don't bring in the web parts along with it. They try, but 99% they fail, and you have to go back and add them back. And if some of the clients had like n number of pages in a site, which I have never seen, like 200 pages in a SharePoint site. Like, it's crazy, and you have to add those 200 web parts back to it. It's crazy. I think that was a big thing, which migration was missing compared to what we have right now.
Doesn't Raincore do this? Because that has like an inventory. That has like a pretty good dev.
Yeah, but I think they're all good from on-prem to on-prem, but when you plan to come to online or something, they all break in.
All right. So this leads into my next question in terms of like a SharePoint train wreck project, like a migration. Is this the one?
Oh, right. No, yeah. Along with the migration, I think there was an instance where we had a code, like a web part, which was going to in production, and it had to be sync in deployment. And they deployed it thinking it's in sync, but it was not. And after like 12 hours of the gap of like US coming up and India coming up later, and it was a big disaster. Like, oh my God, it's not even deployed, and half the code is working, half not. I think that was a big trick with TFS in case, because TFS had some license issue so that was a big blunder, I guess.
That's the problem with migrations. There's always these little things which are gotchas.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What's your Office 365 favorite tool?
I have a couple of them. One is Delve. I love Delve.
Well, Delve is going away though, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I love the profile, and whoever I show it to, my clients and all, guys, we have Delve. Just go and see this, and they like it. It's like my own Facebook profile or a Twitter profile. And it's neat, and I think people, they don't use it because they don't see a opportunity to use it, because you will go and see your recent and stuff. But if you're working on some files, every morning just open up your Delve, you'll see where you left on, and I feel that's very important for.
It is a good. What are they replacing it with? Do you know what they're replacing it with?
I don't think so. I think something else is gonna come. Something like people or something. Let's see. I'm not aware of it.
Okay, I personally quite like to do actually.
Oh yeah, and second one was to do. I love to do. It's on my phone, my smartwatch, everywhere. It's amazing, and I like the cling which comes when you complete something. Cling, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. I like it. And it can be synced in
Integration
all
into
the
Outlook.
devices.
Yeah, the integration into Outlook is good actually.
Yeah.
In fact, I think maybe Microsoft have done a better job than what Wunderlist used to do actually, because they purchased Wunderlist, but I think To Do is much better actually, and also the fact it has a graph and everything else.
Right.
That's pretty cool. Where do you think Microsoft is going in with M365?
I think we are going with a very heavy package of Office 365 and complete. Like for example, we are bringing in search more powerful, which we did not have. We have a very basic search. And then migration. I think Microsoft bought a company called Mover, I think. And
They did.
so right, and so they are bringing in migration, and then Mover app is amazing. It really is worth it to have a try. And so they are expanding to the services which people were providing through Microsoft. So they are taking over the services. Okay, we will do it for you. And they from an Outlook and major presence on SharePoint online or anything online is crazy. I think everybody wants to go to cloud. They want to cut down cost of servers or maintenance. Right now, I don't see there are jobs for admins. There's very minimal jobs. Before there used to be a server-side admin and administrators. Right now, it's everything online. If something drops on the
You say that though, but you still need people to be managing groups, looking at the governance.
Right, yeah, but I think right now the clients are making the same developers do the same thing. Have a check and can you set up the governance because they think it's a one-time activity. They don't hire someone. Yeah, for privacy and governance policy, they have someone, but before there was a guy for servers, there was a guy for deployment, and they will only do deployment, they will only manage the server. You had load balancers and stuff. All are gone. Like nobody, we just are directly proportional to the servers of Microsoft. If it's working, it's good. If it's not working, we just give them a head and say, hey guys, the server is down. We can't do anything. Nothing on our own control. I think that's what the new thing is. Yeah, they might be hiring people on their end, of course, but I think clients are saving a lot of penny. And with no code development, you know how it's happening. Everybody can make a code, everybody can make a Power App. Of course, they can't go that complicated one, but still they can do something. And right now, I'll tell you a very amazing story. So I have been doing interviews for my company. I just came to know there is a new profile for Power Apps developer. It doesn't come as SharePoint. It doesn't come as, it's just Power Apps developer. So he can be working with SQL or any other service enterprises. But though it should be a SharePoint plus Power Apps developer, but it's the position is right now as Power App developer. That's it.
So it's interesting you say that because I'm noticing a trend with resumes we're receiving, and people like the universities and everyone's saying, oh yeah, we have coding camps, boot camps, but some of the increasingly I'm seeing resumes are saying I'm actually a power developer. I'm no coder. Okay, so i.e. they can get the business function done with technology without coding.
Right.
So they're not actually even hiding this; they're actually promoting this, which is ironic. Is because you see a lot of the organisations they're saying coding camps for girls, coding camps, coding camps for teenagers. But wait a minute here, I'm seeing a trend of some people saying I'm not a coder.
Yeah. Right.
Okay,
yeah.
And I can still get your job done.
Exactly. So that's why I said that I have seen so many profiles and there are positions in my own company. Power developer. Oh, right. That's cool. So I think people are changing. I thought the new generation, our interns who are coming in, they are super different. Like us, like coming from .NET or C# background, they're coming with a low code, no code background. So they want to adopt that and move ahead. And Microsoft is again pushing that forward. So let's see how it goes.
Right. Okay. So your demo is Graph, actually, which is a topic close to my heart because they've really opened up Graph in the last couple of years. So before you kick into the demo, what's the sort of sizzle you can be focusing on?
What I want to see is people don't know what is Microsoft Graph. Okay, they think they use Flow and they try to connect something. They don't know how it got connected. It's actually Microsoft Graph. Or remember when we were like before it was APIs and that API asmx.com, like we'll put in the end of the SharePoint URL to see the APIs, REST API. This is better covered. It's like more of a easy way of showing these are our APIs and these are how you can connect. So I want to showcase today in a demo that there are two ways, like there are many ways to it. I'll try to show 2 ways or 3 ways, starting with the Graph Explorer, which Microsoft has given on the UI. You can just come in and see what you can do on the UI. You don't have to even touch Visual Studio. For those people who hate coding, yeah. For other second time, I'm a big fan of PowerShell. I love PowerShell. Like anything I want to do, I'll try with PowerShell rather than doing anything manually. So I'll show with PowerShell how you can do the same thing. And if we have some time, I can just walk over the Postman again, because API is got for Postman. So every API has to go through Postman. And these Microsoft Graph API, they are all enabled. And so I want to showcase them. And let's see. I'll be quick. I won't take much time.
All right, go for it.
I'll skip myself. Yep, that's about me. You can find me in all social platforms with Manpreet here. That's an easy name. I got it. Okay, so what, where, and why? People have this paternity, like, okay, as I was saying, they don't know what is graph, what it does. It's a backend, okay, and right now we are all focused with UI and fun. But Microsoft Graph is enabling you to make a product out of it. It's that powerful. You can even make a product. You can make a migration project. You can make a governance bot. You can make search indexer from connector with different platforms. Anything. So I would be talking about it on a brief way here. Microsoft Graph is nothing but an endpoint. If you see, it's an endpoint which is connected to every Microsoft technology by default. So you don't have to make an effort to connect these endpoints. It's all connected. We have a proper gallery of all these connectors of API. But what do you think if I have to connect to a third-party platform, whether it's ServiceNow or Workplace or any other platform, any other technology which has an open API, you can connect them to Microsoft APIs. Interesting, right? This was never there before. We had our own limitations before. You can't even connect between site collections. Now you can connect to between technologies. I think that's the variation of changes which is happening. So Graph is nothing just a gateway. It's like a gateway of a single endpoint with data flowing from one platform to another, or it can be from one between their own Microsoft products. It's just a single endpoint, which is graph.microsoft.com/. You can use Teams, Outlook, To-Do also. That's the best thing. To-Do, you can use it for any purposes you want. So right now, when you use Flow for updating or sending an email or adding a person on a group or removing a user from a Teams, we use Flow, right? We just go for and take a Flow action. But Flow action in the backend is built on Microsoft Graph. They do all this action. It's like a function in Azure Functions. It's the same thing, but it's a Graph API with a single endpoint, which we people as end users can use it when required. Okay, you can do.
You have to change. You start having to change permissions if you kind of start accessing people's graph, don't you? People's to-do lists and teams, don't you?
Oh yeah, but if you're using from an admin account and you're an admin of your tenant, you don't require to be. You can actually go into every Teams and channels even if you don't have access.
Okay.
I want to showcase the demo. As I said, it's connected to everything, including Windows 10 or Dynamics 365 from Azure Active Directory. Everything is connected. That's why it's called Microsoft Graph API. And people are using them as crazy. They don't know that they use Microsoft Graph. That's the thing. So on the trigger end is 200 million users, active users every month, because people don't know they're using it inactively or actively, because that's the backend. So coming to the, my screen got dark. All right, so how it works in here, okay? So Microsoft 365 is now a package. It doesn't come like before, okay, you buy SharePoint, you buy Office, you buy this. Everything comes in a package. You have an E3 license, you get these things. You get an E5 license, you get these things. So with this package, with all the platforms together, now when we try to build some things over it, like a bot or a web part or like a app on like a mobile app or some workflows like flows and stuff, all this connectivity which we think we are using components in Flow or which we are using is all done by Microsoft Graph, the API. That's what is connecting you. Before, like normally we have REST APIs, which we call, these are called as a Microsoft Graph API because they are a Microsoft product. But eventually they all work like REST API. You pass the same parameters, you pass the same variable. And to test that, I'll show you Microsoft Graph Explorer. So you have the gateway for n number of products. That's never an issue. And you can write the code in all these different languages and platforms. Angular, Android, and we have been doing this with a lot of mobile applications, bots. Python is lovely on that. So you can choose which technology you're working in, and just open the Graph Explorer. So that's what I want people to do it. Like while you're seeing us, and just open Graph Explorer. I'm gonna bring my screen to here. Bring on your Graph Explorer and just log in with your company ID, or even if you have a tenant, that's totally fine. Here you go.
Are you sharing a URL here?
Yeah, can you see my screen?
I can, yes.
All right, okay, perfect. So if you see, you can just Google Microsoft Graph. You will come here and click on the Graph Explorer. Okay, which I clicked wrong. Okay, you'll click on Graph Explorer and you will reach out to this UI interface of Graph APIs. So for people, as we were talking, me and Peter, people don't want to code, don't code. You can come in here and see whether it can be done and how it can be done. So before, what will happen is we'll know these are the API interfaces launched by Microsoft. It will be on MSDN. Right now, they have given you this UI and you can test this in real time. That's the best part of it. So right now, if you see, this is, I have logged in with my own private tenant and I'm playing with it. You can just do the same or log in with your company ID. If it shows disabled, it means your company has not enabled for you. Then try to use a dev account. It's easy. And and you have a developer program here just on the right side. You can just enroll. You get like for a year and they keep on extending and never stop asking you to play around. All right. So what you see here is these are the applications which a graph can connect to. It's an Excel, groups, Insight, Teams, To-Do, OneDrive, OneNote, Calendar, SharePoint, everything here. And it keeps on growing. If you see something on beta, it means they are functional, but they're still in beta mode. So let's start, okay? Like everybody can come in here and click on getting started. Let's get my own profile, okay, here. So when I get my own profile, I run the query. So if I run my query, you see the response coming in JSON. You can see all the parameters of all, like my email ID, my name, my given name, my title, everything coming in proper. Okay, interesting, right? So here what we are passing is, we're just passing a normal endpoint, which is graph.microsoft.com/. Now V1, what you see is the version. V1 point is published version and the other one is beta. Okay, here you go. So beta is like in progress and V1.0 is already like, all right. Okay, so that's how it works. And so while you're passing it, you are just passing an endpoint. You're using an HTTP method here. You're passing the version. You can passing mine. Now this is the resource. We are using me. Okay, let's go to Teams. Okay, Teams is everyone's favorite. Okay, Microsoft Teams. Here you go.
True.
There are 11 of them here. So let's see what are my joined teams. What are the teams I have joined in? So if you see the HTTP end method here, the graph.microsoft1/v1.0, again, that's the version. Okay, you don't have to use it, it's not mandatory. Again, I'm using me as my parameter /join teams. Okay, easy, single endpoint, don't have to pass many parameters, and you run this query and you will get all the information of all the IDs I have joined, all the teams I am in, what is the description and stuff. So you will get a list of all the teams this tenant or this ID is in. Okay. So you're just doing a resource, which is like Teams, Outlook, and something that you want to reference to. And then you have an optional way to pass in parameters. Okay. All right. So this is the body we just pass by default. You can even put request headers. What are the headers you want so that you can store them in particular variable. You can add those variable however you want to store. And you can just click on add it. So it will give you a complete parameter how you want to pass it from the code. Now come the permission. So as Peter was saying, okay, like if you won't have any permission to see it, yeah, of course, yeah, because we have to be a tenant admin. If you are not a tenant admin, and for example, you are doing an app development or a bot development for Teams, what you can ask is you can just ask your administrator to just go to Teams and give you a read basic or edit whatever app you're making. Ask this to them. Right now, I'm the tenant owner and I'm also the Azure tenant owner. So I can consent and I click on consent, it will just accept. It will ask me to log in and I'll be in here. Okay. See, if you see, this is all consent on behalf of your organization. I'm consenting. This can be done on user level also. Okay. Right now, I'm consenting myself completely. I'm asking it to give me a read basic access to Teams, though I have the edit access, I guess, in below. Yeah. So I have already used the read write all and access, so I don't have to get to it. But in a way, you can or your admin can control the access. Who should have access to that endpoint? So the endpoint will not be open for the whole company. If you go and log in with your company ID, 99% won't work until you are a tenant owner or you are the admin. But that's why I said you go with your dev account. This is my dev account. I'm the owner. So I have enabled all these things and I can see all the stuff here. Okay. Modifying permission, easy, sorted. All right. Okay. But the access token, now, people who are hardcore API developers, I don't call myself or any SharePoint people as hardcore because we use API very minimal. But there are people who use API like crazy, like JavaScript developers or full stack developers. They need API. They use Postman. Here you have an access token pre-built for you. Just copy it here, go to the Postman and start using it. So what you don't have to do is you don't have to look for MSDN and look for various ways to do this while you're already getting it on the Graph Explorer. Quick and easy, right?
Okay.
All right.
Have you ever,
Sure.
Is a question just came in terms of you say, oh yeah, I can use an admin account. How do you deal with admin accounts that require multi-factor authentication?
Oh, right. It's the same thing. So multi-factor authentication right now, like my account is multi-factor. It comes to my phone. Okay. So I have to say, like I am an admin, I can do for myself. I cannot give somebody permission here. To give somebody permission, you have to go to Azure and go to this graph endpoint. There is a Microsoft Graph in Active Directory Azure, and you have to give them access in there. So there you can assign users who should have access and stuff. Not in here. Graph Explorer is just for a user UI interface for me to see how much access I have. And for example, when I went here to modify the permission, if I'm not the admin, I will not be able to do this. So next now when you come is when I'm coming here, I'm running something. I can see a response preview. I see the response here in JSON and I can use it. So these are the predefined fields. If I want to pass in my variable in my API endpoint, I can pass and get the details, which I can use it for other previous subsets. And the best part here is what I love is the code snippet. It gives you a snippet for C#. You don't have to write it. Just pass this authorization provider. You have the same thing in JavaScript, Java, and Objective-C.
It's pretty good.
Okay, so if I'm doing it, if somebody say, hey, like Peter asked, Peter, can you add some 100 people in Teams? Okay, I'm not gonna go and doing ++1 and every single time. I'm gonna just open up a console application. Okay, there are other ways to do it, like import Excel and all those boring thing. As I said, I love PowerShell. I just open up a PowerShell, run the PowerShell, put everything in Excel, read the Excel, and push in the people using Graph Endpoint. Quick way. Or I can do a console application, whichever is faster. I'll just come here, use Java or JavaScript or C#. I'll use C# because that's what we normally use and just pushing the people. So you can even like create a chat message. You can do like all these things operation. It depends on what are you gonna build. It depends on all the stuff. What are you gonna build? What are you gonna do? And then accordingly, these all APIs can be used. And where you can just come in here, like that's why I said people should just come in here. There are some of them which are someday you just come, there are hundreds, another day it should be 104. Like there might be 4 APIs which they added, and you will okay, let's see what's there. So they're in beta, but they're all stable. And like after a month or two, they just make it like a V1.0. Right now we just have V1.0. And when you pass that, you can use that. And you have some toolkit component to connect. And the amazing part is the adaptive card. So let me go back here one second. Oh, I need something here for my, let's see here. Here you go. So I got the adaptive card of my profile right here. Just come in here, copy the JSON and use it wherever you want to use. Use it in your flow, use it in your workflow. That's it. It will function in the similar way. You can even edit it and see how it's gonna look here. Easy, right? this is the power of Microsoft
So,
Graph.
yeah, it is. I've used this before. It's as easy as what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy. Like I don't have to waste much time and looking for stuff. All right. So again, I'm running short on time, so I'm gonna run to my next amazing part, which I call as PowerShell. Again, I said I love it. It's my favorite. Easy way. I have the snippets ready. So let's go with minions for a demo. All right. So open up your PowerShell again. So there are some prerequisites you have to do it. I will not be doing it. Let me show it. I think it's on my deck. Okay, prerequisites. So you have to install this module. Okay, again, if you're on your office laptop, you might not have access to your PowerShell. You might not be able to install it. So again, a preferred way is go to your personal laptop and just try this install module. It takes like 3 to 4 minutes. It brings everything, it's all the Microsoft Graph API endpoint which you see there into your laptop. Trust me, into your laptop, which means into your laptop. Then what you do is you connect it. Okay, to just view whether the installation has done perfectly, you can run the second code, get the install module, name Microsoft Graph. I'm going to run this and show you. And then you can do is connect. So when you click on connect, it will ask you to authenticate. Now your multi-factor authentication comes in picture. So when you click on connect, it will open up this own UI. It will ask you to consent the number of things you require. Okay. Once you consent, that's it, it's done. So best part of it is I don't have to connect this any number of times. If this is my personal laptop, is I'm always connected. Once you do it, you're always connected. Then you can do a lot of variation and parameters. Let me show that to you. So I'm going to open up PowerShell, which is here. All right, let me make a little for people to see it. All right. All right. So I'm gonna come. I have some snippets ready, so I'm not gonna write it just for the time. So okay, first let's see what are the different installed modules on my machine. So I'm running get all install module on Microsoft Graph. It takes a minute. Here you go. So if you see, I have applications, authentications, booking, calendar, like even bookings is there, the bookings app of Microsoft. Even they have introduced EDU education here. Okay, from mailing to notes to people, you just see the number of APIs we have available. Crazy number of it, right? And it just keeps on growing. And let me reduce it a little. I'm too big, I guess. Let's run something here. Okay, so let's see what other graph license command license for Microsoft Graph. Like for example, for admin people, we were just talking about admin people losing job. I'll show you why they are losing job. So me as a tenant owner, I'm the admin. I can also come in and see what I have to do. Invoke a licensed user. Okay, if I have to give somebody a user, remove the principal user, all by simple operation. So what I will do is I don't even have to go to the console of Microsoft Admin Center and search for a user, delete it. I'll just come here, use that function. I will have the list of people. I have to update the license, remove the license, revoke the license. I'll use pass the user ID. That's it, done. It will show me it's completed. Similar way, I don't think I have any Outlook task, so I'll go with Teams. I had task one. Teams, everybody's favorite, Microsoft Teams. Here you go. Just see the API, it's still running.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Perfect. Okay, let's go like, okay, what I can do with Teams here, I can add a team channel member. I can add a team member. I can add like even you can get the chat of people. You can search the chat. Okay, like we have build bots on it. What bots does is it just goes and do a reminder, for example. It will go to specific teams and remind them with the tasks and activities. You can just think whatever you can think, you can achieve it by. And remember, like just 3 years back, Peter, I'll tell you, this list was like 14 of it. Then 14 or 12 of them have become a huge list here. And it just keeps on
it
growing.
has grown tremendously
Yeah.
over the last couple of years.
Yeah. So I think whatever you can do in your flow, you have the same compatible thing using code if you're using code. And just see the list. You can even update people and remove and stuff, including shift requests. This is that powerful. So let me show you something on the SharePoint end. Okay, like we are all SharePoint people here. And let's see, I'll pass a parameter right now. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm getting the site, the root site of this tenant. Okay, it's gonna show me the ID and display name. So let's see. All right, I again have to connect it. So let's connect it. When you change your password, guys, you have to connect it again. So all right, so I think this is the best way. You can see how you have to connect. So it
Yep.
tells me to go to this web browser and search for this and put this code there to authenticate. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm just gonna copy this. All right, we all have a demo after a long time. Even I'm doing it. So I do a device login. I go back to my command prompt. I'm just gonna take this code. All right. So it asks me to enter code. Signing me in. Oh, yeah, I think I'm in Canada, so it's asking me to validate again. Okay, got it.
Well, hopefully you're not country blocked here, with Office 365 security.
Right. Okay, so it shows connect. It's still running. In a minute, it will show I'm connected. That's been so I have been moving from location, so it asked me to reconnect it. So this is how you're gonna connect. You're gonna just come in here, open that thing, open the web browser, and you can just connect. Once you connect, you do your API endpoint, you pass the parameter, and it'll be there. It's gonna take a minute, it's just taking some time. But until then, I'll just go back quickly to here. So this is second way of PowerShell. Okay. Now I just want to open by the time it's connecting Postman, another one of the every API developer uses. That's why Microsoft had to enable it for them. And they did not just enable it, they did a lot of things. They have you have a collection of direct linkage. I'm gonna show that to you. Just pass on a URL and you can just pull in all this thing. Like we install in here, and there you can just pull in the whole collection. Okay, click on enter. Let's go back here. And if I'm connected. All right, here you go. So we pass the Teams API, get the site of the root site. It gets me the root site, it gets me the ID, and it gets me the display name. It's a communication site. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for that communication site. Okay, like for example, let's search for this site and delete a user. So if you see, I'm just passing those parameters just on one browser. And see, if you see, I just passed out, okay, search for this communication site. Is there any site for communication? It found one. Okay, yeah, there is a site for communication. Can you show me the display name? The display name is here and there's no description and there's a web URL here. So you can do on your operation just on the brink of a PowerShell. You don't even need to write console application. Don't have to touch Visual Studio. Don't even do that because it's by the time it's gonna open, it's gonna take a day. So PowerShell, love it. Just try to do some small instances and you will love it.
What's your best PowerShell website where you get all your PowerShell sources from?
Sources, I think there is nothing like a specific site, Peter. I think the MSDN has everything. Now they have everything of all the technologies. So it's a hub of it. I think the Microsoft, that document center, I think that's amazing. That has everything.
All right.
I just want to show the development side of how endpoint will work here. Sure. Let me go back to the deck. So everybody, all the API developers of Postman, I'm going to show them. It's a simple way. I'll just show them. What you have to do is, it's a cheat sheet as I put. Microsoft has put everything on the GitHub. You can just import this collection of JSON. These two, okay, like you can even do one, like one has the Postman of collections of all the API, one has the collections of all the environment. So when you come into the Postman, just come in here, import, which I've already done here. And when you import, you will see all the applications like Teams or SharePoint and all the users. And then, like I was showing you, right? Easy way, just come in here. You just have to pass in your client ID, client secret, tenant ID, and your access token. Access token, you can get it on your Graph Explorer, or you can get it from your Microsoft Azure. Pass all these parameters, that's it, done. Run the query, execute it, or make API references, make a powerful API out of it. Some people I have seen the API endpoints to be like amazing, like a page of variables they have been passing with data. Nice, you can use it as much as information you require, especially for bots and endpoint. So I would say people first go use Graph Explorer, basic. Second, open your Windows PowerShell in your laptop. Try to connect. It's amazing. You just connect it, it will show you connect to Graph, and that's it. And then you can do some quick short operations and you'll be all set. That's it, Peter. I'm good for today.
Fantastic. All right, let's do quick wrap-up questions. What's your best what's your best and worst tech advice you've been given?
Stick to one technology. People said don't go from SharePoint to anything else.
Okay. What are you working on becoming these days? Where do you want to be in 5 years?
I think I want to be more operational towards Microsoft product, and I've been working with engineering teams from last 3 years, directly from Microsoft, and sharing our enterprise and they should update with their code. And we have been pushing our own code with them. I think that's the best thing I've done. Now I want to go to the next level and like kind of a vision man. Tell people, okay, these are the things. Can we do that? And then start working towards it. I think next 5 years I should be in that category of people.
Okay, sounds good. What's your blind spot in the Microsoft knowledge? Your pitfalls?
I think when we work for Office 365, as I was talking, it's a package. You need to know everything because we are those developers. You need to, when we come in a meeting, we should know everything. For a blind spot, I wouldn't say blind spot, but I hate making apps on Teams. I feel Teams is already super loaded. You are asking people to make SPFX and all those things on the Teams, it's gonna go crazy. I think
Well, that's what SharePoint was all about. This is old wine in a new bottle.
right, yeah. So you can do all the stuff in Teams. I would love it. SharePoint, I would love it because that's the technology should be doing it. You can't use a communication platform for making everything. In that case, you're losing SharePoint. People will stop using it. They will be like, Teams is giving a SharePoint site. It's making a group. It's making everything. Why do I need a SharePoint like this? So I think that they're just cutting off SharePoint. If that's the future for them in the roadmap, yeah, maybe then that's good. Because I don't think Teams should not be overloaded. It should be kept with fancy things and not overloaded things with day-to-day activities and jobs, which we are doing. Like Viva is somewhat like the same, right? People are making dashboards, they're making Teams as intranet portals and stuff. It's just overcrowding it. In my tenant, if my company tenant, I have to look for things because there have been so many things right now. It takes a time for me to find those rather than me getting everything easy. It's too much right now.
Right. Where do you source most of your knowledge from?
I have some things. I follow people like you, Peter, and I like writing blogs and things. And when you, best part of writing blog is you learn that thing. And so while you write, it's easy. You can write it for people.
That is
So
so true.
I always do that. So for example, if I have to learn something new like Viva, I'm been planning. I'm planning to start a series of articles. Okay, let people know from the scratch what is Viva. I always feel like in the net, if you see some of the articles are too in depth or too high level. I always like people to show from the basic, from A to Z, because that helps you to learn properly. You don't have, and I don't want people to read my article and then search 5 more articles to understand my article. I want them to understand my article completely, and that's it. You know that technology. So I think that's how even I do for learning. I use Microsoft Docs, and MSDN is my favorite as always. And Channel 9. Nowadays it's all about videos. I love to see videos of people. I just run it around my backend and I just keep on seeing what people are doing. It's amazing.
Channel 9 it is very good. All right then. If there could be one song that would describe SharePoint, what would it be?
We will rock you.
Oh, We Will Rock You by Queen. Yeah, that's a good song. All right, I suppose you could do Info Path, another one bites the dust. Well, actually, or as it works, Brian May, everything we do it for you. All right, and where can people find you?
People can find me on every platform. The name is Manpreet here. Just write my name and HERE, and you will find me on all the platforms: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everywhere.
All right, okay. Oh, hang on, there was one question before we go. Hi, Manpreet, is your slide deck available for download? If you email that, Manpreet, I'll stick it on the page, and it will be, okay?
All right, I'll do that, Peter.
All right, thanks. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.